If someone told me last month I'd be engaged to a strangerno, scratch that, to a lawyer who looked like he had swallowed the entire book of American law and was still chewing on the last amendment, I would have laughed in their face. Or maybe cried. Probably both. But here I am, 23, standing in my parents' Manhattan penthouse, staring at the man they want me to marry. And God help me, he looks like trouble wrapped in Armani. His name is Alexander Hayes, 30 years old, partner track attorney, the kind of man who probably knows how to draft a prenup in his sleep. He stands across the room like he owns it, posture perfect, expression unreadable. And me, I'm Ethan Cole, art student turned family disappointment, with paint stains on half my t-shirts and a portfolio full of things my parents politely call a hobby. This isn't a meet-cute. It's a setup. A contract sealed over wine and whispered promises of power between two families that value mergers over marriages. Assets over affection. My parents smile like they've won the lottery. I feel like I've been sold. And yet, when Alex's dark eyes flick to mine, I swear my heart does something traitorous. Not love. Not attraction. Something scarier. Curiosity. Dinner that night is a performance. Silver cutlery clinks against fine china while my mother launches into a speech about stability and future security. My father nods, his whiskey glass catching the chandelier light. I chew on dry steak, pretending to listen, pretending I'm not dying a slow death inside. Alex doesn't speak much. He doesn't need to. When he does, it's precise, deliberate, like each word has been tested in court before release. His voice is low, rich, and annoyingly calm. So, he says finally, cutting into his food with surgical precision, Ethan, you're in art school. The way he says it, you'd think art school was a contagious disease. Yeah, I reply, meeting his gaze with forced boldness. Painting. Mostly. Sometimes sketching. Not exactly a 9-to-5 thing. But I like it. Something flickers across his face. Disapproval. Amusement. Hard to tell. My father clears his throat. Ethan is very talented. But we've always wanted him to consider a more stable career. Translation, he's wasting his life. I stab my steak, wishing it were this whole damn arrangement instead. Alex sets down his knife and fork. I still on me. Art takes discipline. He says slowly. Not everyone has that. I blink. Was that a compliment? From Mr. Stoneface himself. My mother beams like he just quoted Shakespeare. My father raises his glass. I just sit there, confused, caught between wanting to thank him and wanting to throw my fork at him. The night ends with handshakes, fake smiles, and my mother whispering about invitations and venues. Alex offers to walk me out, and for reasons I don't understand, I let him. The city hums beyond the glass doors of the lobby. He doesn't look at me right away. Just slips his hands into his pockets. Calm as ever. I'm fidgeting with my jacket zipper, wishing I had a cigarette even though I don't smoke. This isn't what you want, he says finally, his voice so steady it makes my stomach twist. I snap my gaze to him. You think. A faint smirk touches his lips. There and gone again. I don't want it either. That stings more than it should. Great. We're both prisoners. Then, how romantic. Silence. Then look, I don't know you. And you don't know me. But I'm not the enemy here. His eyes lock on mine. Steady. Unflinching. And for one strange, terrifying second, I believe him. The weeks blur into a strange rhythm. Engagement parties, charity galas, Dinners with too many cameras. Alex plays the role perfectly. Attentive fiancé. Respectable lawyer. Polished to perfection. I play along, plastering smiles while the gossip columns eat it up. But behind closed doors, things are complicated. He's not warm. Not exactly. But he's not cold either. He notices things like when I skip meals, or when the noise of the crowd makes me shut down. He doesn't make a big deal of it. He just hands me a glass of water or pulls me into a quieter corner. He doesn't touch me much, but when he de's a guiding hand at my back, a steadying grip on my arm, it feels deliberate, protective. And damn it, I hate that I notice. One night, after a particularly brutal dinner where my uncle called my art a phase, I storm into the balcony of Alex's apartment. The city is spread below like glitter spilled across velvet. I light a cigarette I stole from the caterer's tray, hand shaking. "You don't even smoke," Alex says, stepping out behind me. Maybe I should start. My voice cracks. Might as well ruin my lungs since my life's already ruined. He doesn't argue. He just stands beside me, silent, hands resting on the railing. The quiet stretches until it's unbearable. Finally, he says, "You're stronger than you think." I laugh, bitter. "You don't know me." "I know you haven't given up." His gaze shifts to me, steady and unflinching. That counts for something. And just like that, my throat tightens. I hate him. I hate that he says things that stick, that his voice lingers when I'm alone, that he's starting to feel less like a captor and more like a shelter I didn't ask for but desperately need. That's when it happens. The first time he touches me and it doesn't feel like pretense. We're leaving a fundraiser. Paparazzi flashing like lightning. I freeze, blinded, panic clawing up my chest. My hands tremble, breath quickening. Without a word, Alex takes my hand. Not for the cameras. Not for show. His thumb presses against my pulse, grounding me, steadying me. "Breathe," he murmurs, close enough for only me to hear. And I do. The world fades. The noise dulls. And for the first time since this whole nightmare began, I feel safe. Safe with him. That was the beginning. The beginning of the unraveling. The beginning of the terrifying realization. I was falling for the man I was forced to marry. And that, more than anything, scared me most. It starts small. A shift I almost don't notice. At first, I tell myself it's nothing. Alex is just playing the role better than I am. He knows how to make people believe. But then there are moments when no one's watching, when there's no audience to fool, and his presence lingers like something more than performance. Like the morning I wake up in his apartment because I stayed too late working on a painting. My parents think I live here now. Better optics. They sideshow my sketchbooks and brushes have migrated into his immaculate guest room. I stumble out into the kitchen. Hair a mess. T-shirt smeared with paint. He's already dressed. Tie perfect. Sipping coffee like he owns the damn sunrise. "You're a morning person," I mutter, reaching for the cereal box. "Someone has to be." His voice is even, but there's a faint twitch at the corner of his lips, as if he finds me vaguely amusing. I glare at him, pouring cereal without milk because I can't find it. He sighs, takes the box from me, and wordlessly sets a proper breakfast in front of me. Toast, scrambled eggs, actual orange juice. "I didn't ask for this," I say, even as my stomach growls. "You didn't have to." And when I eat, trying not to look grateful, he doesn't comment, just sits there, reading the news on his tablet, like this is normal, like feeding me is second nature. Weeks pass, and the charade grows heavier. My parents are thrilled. They talk about venues, guest lists, the prestige of two powerful families merging. I nod when they look at me, smile when they expect it, but inside, I'm suffocating. Alex notices. He doesn't say it outright, but I catch him watching me sometimes, like he's trying to figure out which piece of me is about to break. One night, after another suffocating dinner with my family, I snap. I slam his apartment door shut, pacing like a trapped animal. I can't do this anymore. I blurt. I can't keep pretending this is what I want. Alex stands in the doorway, jacket draped over one arm, tie loosened. He looks at me, steady, calm, the way he always does. Then stop pretending. He says simply. I freeze. What? You don't owe them your soul, Ethan. His voice is quiet, but firm. They might think they own you. They don't. I laugh bitterly. Easy for you to say. You thrive in their world. You fit in. I don't. He takes a step closer, eyes locked on mine. That doesn't mean you don't belong. Something in my chest cracks open at his words, raw and unguarded. I want to scream at him, shove him away, demand why he cares, but the truth is, I don't want to push him away at all. Instead, I whisper, why are you being kind to me? For the first time, his composure falters. His jaw tightens, and he looks away, because I know what it's like to be trapped. The silence that follows is heavier than any argument. The next time I see that truth is late one night when I wander into his office. He's at his desk, papers scattered, sleeves rolled up. His usual armor is gone. And for once, he looks tired, human. What are you working on? I ask quietly, leaning against the doorframe. He doesn't look up. A case. Doesn't matter. But the tightness in his shoulders says it does matter. That it's eating him alive. I walk closer, peering at the mess of legal documents. You don't have to do everything alone, you know. His eyes flick to me, sharp, skeptical. And what exactly would you do to help? I grin, picking up a pen and twirling it between my fingers. I can keep you company. Maybe draw you a cartoon version of your terrifying boss. For the first time, he actually laughs. Soft, unexpected, and it hits me harder than I expect. You're ridiculous, he mutters, shaking his head. Yeah, I say, smiling despite myself. But I make you laugh. His gaze lingers on me, and something shifts in the air between us. Not sharp, not cold, warm, dangerous. It's not a kiss. Not yet. The smaller things subtle. Intimate moments that make me question everything. The way his hand brushes mine when he passes me a glass. The way he tilts his umbrella toward me when rain catches us on the street. The way his eyes soften, just barely, when he thinks I'm not looking. And the way my heart leaps every damn time. I tell myself it's nothing. Just circumstance. Just biology. Just loneliness. But then comes the night it all unravels. We're at a gala, another endless evening of champagne, small talk, and cameras. I'm suffocating in my tux, plastering on a smile as people ask about wedding dates I don't care about. Then a man approaches me, an old friend of the family, drunk and entitled. He claps me on the shoulder, too hard, leaning in too close. So you're the pretty boy they've matched up with Hayes. He slurs, breath reeking of whiskey. Lucky bastard. Man like him could buy and sell you 10 times over. My stomach twists. I try to laugh it off, to step back, but he grabs my wrist, fingers digging into my skin. Before I can speak, Alex is there. His hand clamps on the man's shoulder. Grip iron strong. His voice is calm, but lethal. Let go. Now. The man stammers, releases me, mutters something about a misunderstanding, and stumbles away. I'm shaking, more from shock than fear. Alex doesn't let go of my wrist. His thumb brushes the reddened skin, gentle where the other man was cruel. You okay? He asks. Low. Just for me. I nod, though my throat is tight. And then I realize his hand is still holding mine. Not for show. Not for anyone else. Just for me. I don't pull away. Back in his car. The city lights blurring past. Silence stretches between us. I keep staring at his hand resting on the gearshift. Wanting to reach for it. Terrified to try. Finally, he speaks. You don't have to put up with that. Ever. I know. I murmur. It's just, I've been putting up with things my whole life. His jaw clenches. You shouldn't have to. And before I can stop myself, ask, why do you care so much? The car slows at a red light. He turns to me, eyes shadowed but burning. Because I see you, Ethan. And I can't not care. The words hang between us. Electric. Terrifying. I want to answer. I want to say anything, but the light changes. And the car surges forward, carrying us into silence again. That night, I can't sleep. I pace the guest room, heart pounding, replaying his words over and over. I see you. 3 simple words. And they shatter me, because no one has ever said that before. Not my parents. Not the world. Not anyone. But he did. And maybe, just maybe, I'm starting to believe it. The next day, things are different. We don't talk about it. But it's there in the way he pours me coffee before I ask. In the way I linger in the kitchen longer than I need to. In the way our eyes meet and neither of us looks away. We're on the edge of something neither of us wants to name. Something dangerous. Something real. And I know, deep down, that once we cross it, nothing will ever be the same again. The night it finally happens doesn't begin with fireworks. It begins with silence. Alex and I return from yet another suffocating dinner with my parents. Both of us drained. I'm half asleep in the car. My tie tugged loose. My jacket tossed aside. He looks flawless as always. But I notice the tension in his jaw. The faint crease in his brow. When we reach his apartment, I head straight to the balcony. The city is spread out beneath us. Glittering and indifferent. I grip the railing, trying to let the cold air clear my head. Behind me, I hear the faint rustle of his jacket as he sets it aside. Then the sound of a glass being poured. You didn't say much tonight, he says, his voice calm but heavy. I shrug. Didn't feel like competing with my father's monologue about legacy and honor. Alex steps onto the balcony, 2 glasses of whiskey in hand. He passes me one, his fingers brushing mine. That tiny touch sends a jolt through me. Ridiculous and undeniable. Your father doesn't listen, he says. Tell me something I don't know. But there's no bite in my voice this time. Just exhaustion. Just the truth. We drink in silence. The city hums below us. Finally, I turn to him, words spilling before I can stop them. Why do you stay in this world? The suits, the politics, the endless pretending. Don't you ever want to walk away? His gaze flicks to me, sharp and searching. Then he exhales slowly, setting his glass down. I tried once. He admits. That catches me off guard. You. Mr. Perfect lawyer. Tried to run. He leans against the railing. Eyes distant. I was 22. Just out of law school. My parents wanted me to follow the family path. Join the firm. Make partner. I hated it. I thought if I left, if I found something else, maybe I'd feel free. My breath catches. What happened? He looks at me then, and for once, there's no mask, no armor, just raw honesty. My father had a stroke. He says quietly. Suddenly, everything fell on me. Bills, lawsuits, responsibilities I wasn't ready for. Walking away wasn't an option anymore. I had to stay. For him. For my family. The weight of his words sinks into me. I see the steel in him, but also the scars. The boy who wanted out, who was dragged back by duty. I whisper, so you stayed trapped. His jaw tightens. Maybe, or maybe I just learned to survive. And in that moment, I see him not the lawyer, not the fiancé, but the man beneath it all. The man who knows what it means to carry a cage on your shoulders. Without thinking, I reach out, my fingers brushing his hand where it rests on the railing. He doesn't pull away. Instead, he turns his palm, intertwining his fingers with mine. The city disappears. The night disappears. It's just us. And then God help may lean in. It's tentative at first. A brush of lips, soft and trembling. But when he responds, when his hand cups the back of my neck, the kiss deepens. There's fire and restraint all at once. Everything we've been holding back finally breaking free. I taste whiskey and something darker. Something I can't name but crave desperately. When we finally pull apart, breathless, the world feels different. Changed. I shouldn't have done that. I whisper, though every cell in my body screams otherwise. Alex's eyes are burning, steady on mine. Neither should I. But neither of us moves away. After that night, everything shifts. We don't talk about the kiss. Not directly. But it lingers between us. In every glance, every touch, every moment alone. At breakfast, when he slides the coffee mug toward me, our fingers brush a second too long. In the car, when the city blurs by, our knees graze, and neither of us moves. It's torture. Sweet, aching torture. One evening, I'm sprawled on the couch sketching when he comes home late. He looks exhausted. Tiasque, I shadowed. Without a word, he drops onto the couch beside me, head falling back against the cushions. You okay? I ask softly. He lets out a humorless laugh. Define okay. I set my sketchbook aside, studying him. Rough day. Rough life. He mutters, closing his eyes. I hesitate, then shift closer, my hand resting lightly on his arm. He doesn't flinch, doesn't move, just breathes, slow and steady, like my touch is an anchor. And then, without opening his eyes, he says, "You make it easier." My chest tightens. What? You, he murmurs. Being here, you make it easier to breathe. I swallow hard, my throat burning. For once, I don't joke. Don't deflect. I just let the words sink into me, warming the parts of me that have been cold for so long. But nothing good lasts without a fight. The storm hits at my parents' engagement announcement party. A grand ballroom, chandeliers, cameras flashing. The air reeks of money and power. My mother beams. My father basks. And I feel like a pawn on display. Then, during one of the endless toasts, I overhear two guests whispering. The Coles needed this match. Their business has been bleeding money for years. The boy's just the bargaining chip. My stomach drops. I knew my parents had motives, but hearing it laid out so bluntly makes me sick. I stumble out into the hallway, my chest heaving. Alex follows a moment later, his expression sharp with concern. Ethan, what happened? I turn on him, anger spilling out. Did you know? Did you know they're using me to cover their damn debts? His jaw tightens. He doesn't answer fast enough. You did. I whisper, betrayal clawing at me. You knew and you didn't tell me. It wasn't my place. Not your place. I snap, my voice breaking. You're the one I trusted. You're the only one who made this bearable. And you couldn't even be honest with me. The silence between us is unbearable. Finally, he says quietly, yes, I knew. But I didn't tell you because I didn't want you to hate them more than you already do. Tears burn my eyes. Too late. I push past him, needing air, needing space, needing anything but the weight of his truth. I don't sleep that night. I pack a bag, shove sketchbooks into it, and slip out before dawn. I crash at a friend's apartment in Brooklyn, pretending I'm fine, pretending I don't care. But the truth is, I do care. Too much. I miss him. I miss the quiet moments, the steady presence, the way his voice steadied my storms. I hate myself for it. 3 days pass before he finds me. I come back from a coffee run to see him standing outside the building. Suit immaculate. Eyes tired but determined. Ethan, he says, relief in his voice. I stop a few feet away, arms crossed, heart racing. How did you find me? I'm a lawyer, he says simply. Finding people is part of the job. I want to be angry. I want to scream. But all I can do is whisper. Why are you here? His eyes burn into mine. Because I can't lose you. The words hit me like a punch. I shake my head, voice cracking. You don't get to say that. Not after lying to me. I didn't lie, he says firmly. I thought I was protecting you. From what? The truth. From more pain, he says, stepping closer. But I was wrong. And I'm sorry. I should have trusted you to handle it. My throat tightens. Why does it matter to you so much? He doesn't hesitate. Because I love you. The world tilts. My breath catches. He takes another step. Close enough that I can feel the warmth of him. I didn't want this engagement either. But then I met you. And somewhere between pretending and surviving, you became the only real thing in my life. Tears blur my vision. I want to fight him, push him away, protect the fragile walls around my heart. But then his hand cups my face, thumb brushing my cheek, and the dam breaks. I kiss him, hard, desperate, furious, loving. And this time, neither of us pulls away. The confession changes everything. For days after that night outside my friend's apartment, Alex and I move in a strange, fragile rhythm. It isn't just pretending anymore. It isn't duty. It's something raw, messy, terrifying and real. I return to his apartment, not because my parents demand it, but because I want to. Because when I walk through the door, and he looks up from his desk with that quiet relief in his eyes, feels like coming home. We don't talk much about love. We don't need to. It's there in the way he makes sure there's always coffee for me in the morning. It's there in the way I wait up for him when he works late, sketching in the glow of his desk lamp. It's there in the way our hands find each other without thinking. In the way our silences are no longer empty but full. And yet, beneath it all, the storm is building. It hits on a Sunday afternoon, when my parents invite us for brunch at their townhouse. I dread it, but Alex insists we go. Running only gives them more power, he says, his voice calm but firm. The moment we walk in, I know it's a trap. My mother's smile is too tight, my father's handshake too heavy. The dining table is set like a battlefield, silver polished to perfection. Wine glasses gleaming. Halfway through the meal, my father drops the bomb. "Ethan," he says, setting down his fork with deliberate precision. "Your mother and I have been speaking with Mr. Reynolds about moving up the wedding date. A spring ceremony. It's time to finalize things." My stomach twists. Spring. That's in 2 months. Exactly. My mother says smoothly. The sooner, the better. Stability is important. Especially now. I blink. Now. What's happening now? Her smile falters for just a second. But it's enough. I turn to Alex. But his face is unreadable. Mask firmly in place. "Is this about the business?" I demand. Silence. My father clears his throat. "Our affairs are none of your concern. What matters is ensuring the family's future." And Alex understands that. Heat rises in my chest. Anger choking me. So that's it. I'm just the pawn again. The bargaining chip. "Ethan," Alex begins. But I cut him off. "No. Don't you dare defend them. You told me I didn't owe them my soul. Remember? And now you're gonna stand there and let them sell me off like property." The room goes still. My father's eyes narrow, cold and sharp. "You will lower your voice," he says. "And you will remember who you are speaking to." I push back from the table, chair scraping against the marble floor. I remember exactly who I'm speaking to. A man who cares more about money than his own son. My mother gasps, reaching for me. My father stands, fury radiating off him. And then, before things can spiral further, Alex rises too. His voice is calm, steady, but his eyes burn. "Enough," he says. The room falls silent. Even my father freezes. Alex looks at me, then at them. Ethan is not a pawn. He is not a bargaining chip. If you want this alliance, you will respect him. If not, then there is no wedding. The words hang in the air like a sword. My father's face reddens. "You dare threaten me?" "I'm not threatening," Alex replies evenly. "I'm telling you the truth." For a moment, I think my father will explode. But instead, he clenches his jaw, sitting back down. My mother forces a smile, brittle as glass. "We'll revisit this later," she says. But the damage is done. The lines are drawn. In the car ride home, silence stretches between us. My hands tremble in my lap, adrenaline still burning through me. Finally, I whisper, "You didn't have to do that." Alex keeps his eyes on the road. "Yes, I did." I swallow hard, tears stinging my eyes. "You'll regret it. They'll come after you." "Let them," he says quietly. "I can handle them." I look at him then, really look at him. The sharp suit, the controlled expression, the lawyer who always seems unshakable. And beneath it, the man who just risked everything for me. Something inside me breaks. Or maybe it finally heals. I reach for his hand, threading my fingers through his. He doesn't hesitate. His grip is firm, steady, grounding me the way it always does. And in that moment, I know I'm in love with him. Fully. Irrevocably. The days that follow are a strange mix of peace and war. In private, Alex and I fall into something that feels dangerously close to happiness. We cook together well. He cooks, and I make a mess of the kitchen until he sighs and shows me how it's done. We argue over movies, over whether his bookshelf is alphabetized or organized by color. Spoiler, it's both. We kiss on the couch, in the kitchen, against the door when he comes home late and I can't wait another second. But outside those walls, the pressure mounts. My parents call constantly, demanding meetings, pushing dates, reminding me of family duty. The tabloids whisper about cracks in the engagement, about how the lawyer and the artist don't quite fit. And through it all, Alex stands firm. My anchor, my shield. Until one night, everything shatters. It's nearly midnight when he comes home. Shoulders heavy, eyes darker than usual. I'm waiting on the couch, sketchbook abandoned, worry gnawing at me. What happened? I ask as he shrugs off his jacket. He hesitates. Then, with a sigh, he sinks into the chair across from me. Your father came to see me today. My stomach drops. What did he say? Alex's gaze meets mine, steady but grim. He threatened to pull out of the deal, to ruin both our families, unless I convinced you to go through with the wedding immediately. The air leaves my lungs. And, what did you say? He doesn't answer right away. His silence is louder than any words. Alex, I whisper, fear twisting in my chest. Tell me you didn't agree. His jaw clenches. I told him I'd think about it. Betrayal cuts through me like ice. You promised me. You said I wasn't a pawn. I'm trying to protect you. He snaps, voice harsher than I've ever heard it. If your father follows through, he could destroy you. Destroy everything you care about. I don't care about any of it. I shout, standing. The businesses, the money, the stupid legacy, I don't want any of it. The only thing I care about is you. And if you let them force us into this, then you're no better than they are. The words hang between us, sharp and final. Alex's face is pale, his eyes burning. Ethan, but I can't. I can't hear it. I grab my jacket, storming out the door before the tears can fall. The city swallows me whole. I wander for hours, aimless, numb. Neon lights blur. Voices fade. All I can hear is my own heartbeat, frantic and broken. I love him. God, I love him. But love isn't enough when the world is built on cages and chains. At dawn, I find myself by the river, the city skyline painted in gold. I sit on the cold bench, head in my hands, wondering if I've lost him for good. And for the first time, I'm terrified that maybe I have. The sunrise paints the river in shades of gold and fire. I sit on the bench, numb, my body heavy with exhaustion. The city stirs awake around me, but I feel disconnected, like a ghost haunting the world. Alex's face lingers in my mind, the way his voice broke when he said he was protecting me. The way his eyes pleaded though his words felt like betrayal. I love him, and that's the cruelest part. Love should be enough. But love doesn't shatter iron cages. Love doesn't erase generations of family control. Or does it? Part of me whispers that maybe it does, if I'm brave enough to let it. By the time I drag myself back to his apartment, the sky is bright, and my chest feels hollow. The door is unlocked. My heart pounds as I step inside. Alex is there slumped on the couch, suit jacket discarded, hair disheveled, eyes shadowed from a night without sleep. He jerks up when he sees me, relief flashing across his face before he hides it behind his usual composure. "You're back," he says, voice hoarse, across my arms, standing in the doorway like a stranger. "You told my father you'd think about it." He exhales, rubbing his temples. "Ethan, please." "No." I cut him off, my voice trembling but strong. "No more excuses. No more protecting me. No more shielding me. No more deals behind closed doors. Do you love me or not?" The question shatters the air. He freezes. For a moment, silence stretches, unbearable. Then, finally, he speaks. "Yes." His voice cracks, raw and unguarded. "Yes, Ethan. I love you. More than I've ever loved anything. That's why this terrifies me. Because loving you means I have something to lose. And if your father destroys you, then let him try." I snap, tears spilling over. "Let him strip away the money, the business, the inheritance. I don't care. I don't need any of it. I just need you. Don't you get it? Alex, you're the only thing I've ever chosen for myself." His mask crumbles. For once, the powerful lawyer, the perfect fiancé, the unshakable man is gone. And what's left is just Alex, scared, vulnerable, human. He stands, crossing the room in 2 strides. His hands grip my shoulders, firm, desperate. "You'll regret it," he whispers. "One day, you'll hate me for letting you throw everything away." I shake my head fiercely, choking on sobs. "I'll only hate you if you don't choose me back." Something breaks between us like glass shattering, like chains snapping, and then his lips crash against mine. It isn't gentle. It's fire and storm, anger and grief and love tangled together. I cling to him, to the only thing that feels real in this entire twisted world. His arms wrap around me, crushing me against him, as if he could fuse us into one. When we finally pull apart, gasping, I rest my forehead against his. "No more running," I whisper. "No more deals." He answers. We stand there, breathing each other in, the decision sealing itself silently between us. We're going to fight. Together. 2 days later, we walk into my parents' office like soldiers marching into battle. My father sits behind his mahogany desk, imposing as ever. My mother perched elegantly beside him. Their eyes sharpen the moment they see our joined hands. "Ethan," my father says coldly. "Alex, I assume you've come to your senses." Alex squeezes my hand once, grounding me. I lift my chin. "Actually, we've come to tell you the wedding's off." The silence that follows is deafening. My mother's face goes pale. My father's jaw clenches, his knuckles white against the desk. "Excuse me," he says, his voice like ice. "You heard me," I reply, my voice shaking but steady. "I won't marry for business. I won't marry for reputation. I won't marry anyone but the person I love. And if that means walking away from everything, so be it." My father slams a hand on the desk, making me flinch. "Do you have any idea what you're throwing away? Generations of work, of legacy. Your legacy." I spit out. "Not mine. I never asked for it." He glares at me, fury blazing. "Ungrateful boy. After everything I've given you, you've given me chains." I snap, my voice breaking. "You've given me expectations, cages, suffocation. The only thing I want, the only thing I've ever wanted is the freedom to love who I choose." I glance at Alex. His eyes are steady, proud. And I choose him. The room trembles with silence. My mother's eyes glisten, her lips parting as if to speak. But no sound comes out. My father's face twists, torn between rage and disbelief. And then Alex steps forward, his voice low but unshakable. "Mr. Carter," he says, "I respect everything you've built. But Ethan is not your property. He's a man, and he deserves to live his own life. If that means your deal falls apart, then so be it. I won't let you use him anymore." My father rises, his towering figure inches from Alex. For a heartbeat, I think he'll strike him. But Alex doesn't flinch. The silence stretches, heavy, suffocating. And then, finally, my father sits back down, his expression unreadable. "Very well," he says at last, his voice cold. "If that is your choice, then you are no son of mine." The words stab deep, sharper than any blade. But even as tears sting my eyes, relief floods me. Because this time, I'm not standing alone. I turn, my hand finding Alex's. Together, we walk out, leaving the empire, the legacy, the chains behind. The weeks that follow are chaos. My parents cut me off entirely. The press swarms, tabloids spinning stories of betrayal, scandal, disgrace. Old friends vanish. Invitations stop arriving. And yet, I've never felt freer. I move fully into Alex's apartment, turning it from a sterile lawyer's hideout into something messy and alive. Paintings propped against walls, sketches taped to the fridge, plants on every windowsill. Alex pretends to grumble about the clutter, but I catch him smiling when he thinks I'm not looking. We fight, we laugh, we love. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes I lie awake at night, grief twisting in me for the family I lost. But every morning, I wake up to Alex's steady presence beside me, his hand warm in mine, and I know I made the right choice. One evening, months later, we're on the balcony watching the city lights flicker. I lean against him, sketchbook on my lap. "Do you regret it?" I ask quietly. He glances at me. "Regret what?" "Choosing me. Losing everything else." He's silent for a moment. Then he tilts my chin up, his eyes burning with something fierce, something tender. "I didn't lose anything," he murmurs. "I found you. And that's worth more than all the legacies in the world." My throat tightens. I press my lips to his, soft and lingering, pouring everything I feel into the kiss. When we pull back, I whisper, "I love you." He smiles the real smile, the one that breaks through all his masks. "I love you too, Ethan. Always." The city hums around us, vast and unending. The world will keep throwing storms, cages, expectations. But for the first time, I'm not afraid. Because no matter what comes, I've already won. I chose love. I chose him. And he chose me back. Thank you for listening. If you find it interesting, please like and subscribe to follow the next stories.